koala crew and fellow nerds. Welcome back to the Corner of Remnant. I'm your host Larissa and joined by Emperial Dawn.
Yo!
And today we're back after quite a long break. I was going to check when the last Corner of Remnant was, but it was quite a while ago.
The last Skype call we had, which I assume was the last stream, I think was like the 1st of April? I think it's like the something like that.
Right.
So it would have been just after the finale, and I think the finale stretched into late March. I think I want to say for volume 8 because it started a bit later.
It did, yeah.
Not too dissimilar to this volume. Who knows when volume 9 will get underway? But regardless, I hope you enjoy the volume 9 aesthetic we have going on here.
Yes, Dawn made a new overlay. Oh, I forgot to get rid of Neo.
Yeah, there'll be art there over the coming volume whenever that starts. We've got nothing for you today. Sorry about that.
Yes.
But yeah. Been a while since we've done this.
It has been.
Both of us are a little tired as well, so apologies if there's any more stuttering and stumbling more than usual. But we are here today to discuss the Volume 8 soundtrack, which dropped. Was it? When did it drop? Was it the 20? Was it?
It was the
30th.
It was the 31st. I'm pretty sure.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
It was New Year's Eve. Okay, I thought so.
Yes. It was like,
well, I guess...
Happy New Year, here's the soundtrack. Thanks, Jeff and Casey. Hi, Kaylin. How are you?
Well, I guess technically it was probably the 30th for them and the 31st for us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's probably right.
Because time is...
Time zones.
Time is hard. God damn, thankfully we're in the same time zone, because I don't know if I can handle us dealing with RWBY American time zones and then having to deal with us having separate ones on ourselves. So...
You haven't been up long when we catch this. That's okay, neither have we. Well, me, personally.
Yes, seriously, thank you anyone who watches this live, watches the VOD on Twitch, watches the VOD on YouTube. Any and all support is really appreciated. Me and Larissa just love catching up with each other.
Hello,
I hope. At least my perspective it is.
Thank you for the follow. Paris Christily.
So we're just here to discuss the soundtrack, catch up with each other, keep it to RWBY most of it, and just try and have a good time. We will be discussing not only the soundtrack, but also the teaser, because I don't think we've technically discussed that.
The Volume 9 teaser? No.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't really have enough to do a full stream, so we can
I guess there's also stuff like the Arafel teaser that probably at RTX we probably didn't discuss. We won't be discussing any of the book stuff, because someone still hasn't caught up on that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, mate, sorry. I'm bad. I'm going to try and read it in the next few weeks if I can.
And if that happens, maybe we'll do another stream of that on the books and stuff.
Yes.
When Larissa catches up.
And the fairy tales, because I haven't watched those yet. Though I've read the fairy tale book, but I wanted to watch those too, so I had to do that at some point. We can do a stream discussing those and anything else that may come out in the meantime.
Yeah. It just depends when Volume 9 decides to come out.
Yes.
But in time, when it is ready.
But yeah, well, we're good. Thank you. It's all good. It's
very much,
good to be back.
A little tired.
A bit tired.
But very, very happy to be back and to catch up. So, yeah, I haven't done this kind of thing in a long time.
I know, it's been a while. We're going to be a bit rusty. I just want to ask those who are watching live at the moment, how does the audio? Just let me know if there's anything I might need to tweak, because I've had to reset this all up anew, so...
Yes, I've seen a lot of people recently discuss that there might be a full, like, a full 2-year kind of gap, or an extra year between volume. I'm still thinking, I guess we haven't gotten any sort of teaser or any trailer yet for it, so I'm still of the mind of more of like a March, April.
Maybe.
I'm still feeling. I don't think it'll be all the way to October. If it is, fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I'm happy to wait however long it takes.
Since we are discussing the soundtrack today, and since we'll get on, I guess we'll talk a little bit about Volume 9 before we get into the teaser and the soundtrack in a bit. Obviously this soundtrack is a little less dense than previous soundtracks we've gotten.
Yeah, it is.
And there could be a lot of reasons for that. I don't want to speculate for those reasons, but we do know from Casey that Jeff has had a particularly rough year. Again, whatever reasons those are. And I've been of the mind of, I wonder how much his delay in his own work has affected Volume 9.
Possibly.
the music is such a big part of the show.
It is, yeah.
And that might be one of the reasons why the volume has been delayed, because Jeff releases the volume at the very last minute he could for this year. He did. And some people would deem it incomplete. I wouldn't go that far, but
yeah,
I get that notion of it. It might be a matter of him just releasing what he had done, getting it out there, finishing up, and then so he can start working for the Volume 9 stuff. That would be my hypothesis, my theory on the situation.
I think it's that. Also, I guess working from home and other sort of things that happened.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But it really, the whole system, and they've discussed this 100 times, is like once if something goes wrong, something in the pipeline, everything can kind of get delayed on that. And I think the music would be a massive part of that if Jeff's dealing with anything, whether that's COVID stuff, whether that's burnout, whether that's injuries. I know Jeff's injured his hand quite a few times. I know a few times the volumes get delayed because of an injury or something he's got.
Yeah.
So it could be any of the above, all of the above, or it could just be simply Rooster Teeth, AT&T, Warner Brothers, or whoever, just letting Rooster Teeth know, hey, you don't need to rush this out in a year this time. Take your time. That would be the best case scenario if that was the case.
I think it's good.
But no idea, obviously, if that's the case or not, or if it's a pipeline issue or a music issue or whatever. Might never know. But
yeah, I think it's good that they're delaying it until it's ready, and we just have to be patient.
All things considered, I don't mind it being delayed.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't mind.
As long as it comes out eventually.
Yes,
it's the main thing.
If it does end up being a October-November release, we may get the trailer at RTX this year.
That makes sense. I can also see. I guess if I were to put my finger on what I'd expect to happen, because I'm still not convinced it'll be a full October-November delayed release. I would think at the latest it would be an RTX drop, like episode 1 dropping at RTX. That would personally be the latest I think they'd release it.
Yeah.
If they do take a full extra year until October-November, then I guess that will be what happened. But I don't think that will be the case. I think the latest we'll get it is RTX, at least episode 1.
Yeah. Well, soon after.
Especially because obviously whatever they're doing this volume, it's going to require a lot more assets and a lot more new weird stuff, whatever the hell is going on the island.
It's going to be a very different volume to previous volumes, so a bit like how Volume 4 was.
Sure, it's just interesting that this volume, which seems to be, I guess, from what we've heard and previously, at least at first, was going to be a smaller volume, like episode wise, and just from the context, it probably won't be a lot of fighting in this episode, like action wise.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that this is the volume that's getting delayed, when those two factors, again, they might not be factors anymore. Though things could obviously change throughout Volume 8 and plans and stuff.
Yeah.
I just find it very interesting that this is the volume, especially for pipeline issues, is the one being delayed. But again, obviously we live in a weird time right now where that happens. And stuff. So who knows? But yeah, I'd rather them take their time, avoid burnout, avoid crunch, and get it done, especially after the criticism they've gotten in recent years.
I'll drive in November to prevent crunch and burnout. Yes. And gives us time to prepare mentally. Yes. 100%. I think it's going to be a very very emotional, heavy. It's be interesting.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, I think, more of the mental and emotional side. This volume, so I'll be very interested to see. Again, and I just hope that with the time they're taking, we do see a really good volume. I kind of, there are a lot of people out there, a lot of critics out there, or people who like to think themselves as critics, who will definitely take anything they get and run with it. So hopefully that with the time we have, we'll get something really, really good out of it. And I know that's what they'll want to deliver us, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, since we're on that, I guess we'll stick to the teaser then.
Yeah, we can mention the teaser and then go straight into the soundtrack. Yep, sounds good.
I very much love the kind of meta idea of showing us RWBY's perspective, because obviously that was a bit of criticism during the initial volume, was like, oh, RWBY didn't do anything when Yang got attacked, but seeing it from her perspective really gets to the idea of like how fast it was in her mind and stuff. So I think that was a bit of a meta, bit of like okay, audience, we hear you hear, take this. This was her perspective, what do you expect her to do, kind of thing. So that was really nice, and the music was eerie and
it was just
sinister, and
I'm watching it. I was a bit confused at first, and then I was like, it was just It's like, oh, poor Ruby, just everything, all of this happening. Like, her point of view made it feel even more real what happened and how heartbreaking it was. Yeah, I did do a reaction to that too. I don't have the link for it, but if you... Oops, I cannot type today. There's the link to my YouTube. There is a reaction to the teaser, and I'll try and remember to pop in the description for those who are watching on YouTube. I'll try to remember that. But yeah. And then
Hello again.
thank you. Also, Raymond Torchwick, hello. Welcome to the Koala Crew. Welcome in. We're just talking about the teaser, and then we're going to get into the soundtrack. I also really like when falling with Neo. I thought that part was really cool. With of course Neo changing their appearance and things.
Yeah, it's really I think something that a lot of people have wanted for a really long time was to see Neo take those forms and use that emotionally to abuse, you know, Ruby or whoever it would be at the time, using Penny's form, Yang's form, Oscar's form, to really kind of drive home that against her. And again, like, and people asked for ages for, you know, Neo to show up as Pyrrha for John's sake, or, you know, like, you know, that really use Neo's ability to the most abusive ways mentally you could for opponents. So it's good to see, not good, but yeah, it makes sense to see her utilize that as a weapon and stuff. And obviously, those are the three that Neo would be aware of that Ruby had a connection to, kind of thing, before the shippers get all butthurt.
Yes, that's very true. Yes, yeah.
So I very much like that, and I remember Lindsay mentioning, Ruby's voice actress mentioning, like, how weird it was at the time to do, like, Foley and effects for, like, the first-person perspective, something that she hadn't done before.
Yeah.
So, and it came off really well. I remember really loving the effects and the Foley and, like, the grunts and the struggles and stuff in that scene.
Yes.
Very much so.
It's very good.
And then, of course, also, I love the starry, the star effect, and like the glowing in the space and wherever they were.
Yes.
That mirrored the same effect they used in the intro, with like the past in their silhouettes. So that was the same kind of spacey and like star effect that they used. Which I wonder if that in itself was like a tease to, again, what we're going to get on the island, because again, a lot of people theorize we're going to get a lot of like mental stuff, like people's pasts and you know, deceased characters and ghosts and spirits and stuff that like haunt our characters and whatever we're going to get. So I'm wondering, because we know that Volume 8 and Volume 9 was very much meant to be like a duo package kind of thing. There's a lot of references and hints and stuff, and stuff with, again, the girl fall through the world and all this kind of stuff that was very hinted in from Volume 8. I'm curious when we look back, how much of that will be very evident in Volume 8 or the stuff we see in Volume 9.
Yeah, definitely.
Very much so. And
the beach is just so cool. And I liked also the like little animation when Ruby sort of shakes her cloak. I love that little
very nice touch.
Yeah, some nice little touches there.
Obviously, very curious if the Volume 7 concept art will allude to what their outfits will be in this volume.
The Volume 9.
With like well, I mean, with like the Volume 7 concept art showing the Ruby sleeveless, or
that one, yes.
Blake in just a catsuit, and
yes.
Yang with a jacket off, and Weiss with a top, with her shoulder top off.
Not with her top off.
That's where we're shoulder top off. That's where we're put it. I wonder if, because again, I always love when you see like that stuff in concept art, or like how we saw Ruby with a hood up in the Volume 7 concept art. We didn't see it until Volume 8.
Yeah.
Just neat little stuff like that. It's always nice to kind of get like, oh my god, they showed this, and then it's like, oh my god, they actually did this.
I think it was Volume 7 we actually saw the hood. I think it was that little section there after they got their huntsman licenses.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, yes, we did see them. Yeah, but but I was also, I think, an episode
undercover.
You're right. My bad. We did. We saw it again in Volume 8 as well.
Yes.
When they were looking at the Atlas military base from Mantle.
Yeah.
But yes, you're right. It was in Volume 7 as well.
And it's good to see those little variances in their outfits. Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Then of course, where we've got the look of the island and what we assume to be this world tree or whatever it might be. And Ruby by herself, not with Blake or with Neo.
No.
Clearly,
different areas.
However they got here, it's something more interesting. And I'm curious again if this is going to maybe tie into... obviously, we'll probably get some... I'd imagine we'll get some summer stuff, but let's
possibly.
not let's not go crazy and speculate here, because but again, like most people's idea that Raven will be somehow involved in their escape because Raven might be the only person who can get to where they are and how can they escape and stuff like that.
I didn't
Like
think of that actually. That's a very good point because
there's
Raven's
a lot,
portal.
yeah,
if it works.
Yeah.
If it actually works,
they'll
actually let them go there.
Of good potential, but again, a lot of things that, like, you know, we really wanted to see Crow and Ironwood, but we didn't get it. There's a lot of things like we wanted to see Raven show up this volume, didn't get it.
Yeah.
We wanted to see Winter for 3 volumes until we finally got her in volume 7, kind of thing. So it's one of those things where I think, you know, we'll see what we get, kind of thing. A lot of the times, again, like you can go back and look through the old streams. I was really looking forward to Ironwood Crow throughout the whole volume.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad that we didn't get it at all. I'm not mad we didn't, because again, I loved the Ironwood and Winter stuff. That makes sense. I wasn't expecting it, but it makes as much sense.
We didn't get ours of Ironwood and Crow encounter that we thought we would.
They gave me throughout and go through all volume 7. I said I want Neo versus Ruby versus Cinder.
Yes.
Didn't get it, but I thought, goddamn, just as good with Tyrion, Clover, and Crow.
Yeah, that part was so good.
Ruby fight. Period. I'm sorry, Monty. I loved that 3-way fight in volume 7, and people's damn ignorant minds, just because of what Crow did, always put that at the bottom of their list of fights in the entire series. Just because of Crow being the Scarecrow, losing his mind, which is the point of his character, that it always goes low on the list. And it's just like,
well,
can't believe that people let that spoil them.
As much as I love to keep on, but we better get to the soundtrack.
Yes.
Yes.
So we've got the full intro.
Yes.
For Every Life. I don't remember if we knew that was the title.
No, I was trying to think of what. Yeah.
I assume it said that in the credits. But I think before then, I don't know if we ever knew.
Before then, actually, I was going to look because I had it saved on my phone when we just had the little section of it. I had it in my playlists. Yeah, RWBY Volume 8 songs. Oh no, they just have it as just the opening. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know if we knew what it was going to be called, but yes. Yeah.
So we've also got the second verse of it this time, and I think it's mostly the same. I don't think the full song adds too much towards what the original one was, but it wasn't until I listened to the full version of For Every Life that I realized how literal and how much it actually referenced the events of Volume 8. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like risking for every life is literally the point of Team RWBY's goal in the end of the volume, is to, you know, where Ironwood is save the few for the sake of everyone.
They're trying to save everyone.
To save everyone, and again, wasn't until I really listened to the song that I was, that literally fight for every life. That's the whole point.
Exactly. That was the whole goal, was to get everyone to safety, even if it ended up costing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It references a lot of the other intros. References Time to Say Goodbye. With we said goodbye to all the things we loved. References Rising. References Triumph.
It does.
And this will be the day we always feared. This has been the day we waited for the Volume 1 intro and stuff as well. So I always like that stuff when it references back to the older.
I was going to pop that link in, but that's right. I'll put that link in the description later, where you can view all the lyrics.
Yes.
But yeah, I was just having a look over the lyrics. But yeah, it's very sort of like dark with the thing, like maybe the end we try to avoid is already here. We try to rise to defeat the hate through love, keep our hope alive, trust our hearts, and somehow soar above. We sacrificed, we pledged our souls and gave up everything. But in the end, there's only failure and only suffering. Yeah.
I love how that also very much gives me vibes of Die from Volume 2.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing of, like, you know, fighting, or also the intro as well, where it's like fighting for someone else's victory and stuff. And I always love that that's a constant thing throughout the volumes. I remember, I want to say it's this song. I want to say it's For Every Life, where it references how, like, this battle's near its end. Which
I think Falling Sky mentioned that. I think
this one mentions as well.
Where
maybe it's just fantasy, foolish goal we can't achieve. This battle's the battle's near the end.
Yes.
It reminds. Whenever I hear a lyric like that, it always reminds me of the Triumph, the intro for Volume 5. I think it mentions, like, the battle is near its end, or the end is almost near in that song. And then I remember thinking at the time, oh my god, is RWBY almost over? Are we almost over here at volume 5? And then like Miracle, which is in the first episode of volume 6, literally in that little mentions the end is nowhere near in sight.
Yeah.
So whenever I hear the battle at the end, I always expect a future song to be like, no, we're not near the end yet. No, it's all right.
Yeah.
Gonna go on for a bit longer. So those lines of the battle's near its end always sticks out to me.
I also
oh no.
Yeah. I also liked will this be the day that we've always feared? It's like this like in the original intro, this will be the day we've waited for. So will this be the day we always feared? Yeah. Overall, I really like the intro. It's not my favorite, but it's up there. Definitely up in like the top 3 for me. But
yeah, I was thinking back to this earlier the week of myself, and I was thinking like, well, volume 1, nostalgic.
Yeah.
But it's also not fair because we came into the series after volume 3.
Yes.
So all 3 of the intros are kind of been nostalgic to us, more so than other fans. But I'm always a sucker for It's Time to Say Goodbye. I think that'll always be my favorite one.
Yeah, I do like that one.
Love Time to Say Goodbye, the acoustic version especially. I'm always butthurt about the volume 3 intro because that never got an acoustic intro when at the time that was the trend. So we never got an acoustic when it falls, and every volume I'm wanting to get an acoustic when it falls, and we never get it. So as for the 4th one, obviously for Monty reasons, it's a lot of people love it. It's not my favorite song. I don't think it's a particularly good intro, but I do like the song. I actually like the remix, and that's about the only song I'll say that for.
Yeah.
I like the remix of this song.
The remix is not bad. Yeah.
I really like the remix for volume 4s. I like volume 5s. I really like volume 6s. And volume 7 and 8, I'm still not like, I haven't listened to it enough compared to the others to have a proper opinion on it. But I think it's hard for me anything to beat It's Time to Say Goodbye for me, I think.
Yeah. Well, when I think it's just of the recent volumes, I definitely loved volume 7's is definitely up there for me. Yeah. Hi, Tyson. No worries. And then of course, volume 8. I'm not sure what will be my top 3, my third one. No, I had to think about it a bit more. I had to rewatch them all again.
Also like in particularly to the in the second verse of Every Life, it's the strength's not victory. Always like when they refer back to that line, because that ties back to the very first episode. It's that strength, Salem to Ozpin, strength will not bring you victory. Victory is in a simple soul, yada yada yada. I mean, I wonder when we get that reference back into the show again, because we haven't got a Simple Soul reference in a very long time, so I'm very much hoping to get a Simple Soul reference at some point. I'm glad we started getting the chess motifs back as well, because we hadn't had those for a long time. We've got a few of those this volume. Yes. Always like when RWBY just references itself. That's all you gotta do. Just go back and reference on yourself. That's all I ask.
Sky is Falling.
Sky is Falling.
It's my favourite song of the soundtrack so far. I loved Sky is Falling. It's so good.
Yeah, if it's hard to say because in my mind, I really struggle to consider Friend and Awake a part of this soundtrack because we've had them all for so long. So I
do love Friend.
I always forget that they're like a part of this soundtrack.
Yeah.
When I'm going back and listening to the soundtrack, I've been leaving those 2 songs out because I know those songs. So then when I think of the whole soundtrack in full, I forget that those should be added in here, part of this. But The Sky is Falling, was probably it was like the first song we got in the volume, in episode 4, and again it suited that scene really really well. Obviously very very obviously alluding to the literal Atlas falling later in the volume.
Yes.
And just like the world around them, their hopes, their dreams, their plans all falling around them and stuff. And again, the second verse is really just like a rewording of the first verse. Nothing too new here.
There was a little extra bit in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very funny too because I love the Volume 6 soundtrack so much. But the thing I dislike about it the most is because it does that in a lot of songs where it adds an extra line in before the chorus or an extra line in the middle of the verse that wasn't there in the original use of the song in the soundtrack and in the volume. And that always ticks in my head like, well, that wasn't there when I first heard it. Why is that there now? And it doesn't feel like it's mixed amazingly. Like, it's not mixed perfectly, so it's a bit more noticeable. When I first heard this song, there is an extra line before the chorus here, and I thought that same thing, where it's like, well, that wasn't there in the original
It was
volume.
so used to how it was in the episode. Yeah.
and at first I thought the same thing. I was like, did that really mix in very well? But there is a blank space in the volume of where the verse ends. Jean does his bike tricks, gets onto Yang's bike, then the chorus starts. So there is actually a gap.
So there is that gap.
The actual volume. So it's just kind of putting lyrics into the gap that was already there. So when I think of it like that, it doesn't bother me nearly as much as some Neo's song in Volume 6 has that. I think in Adam's song as well has that in Volume 6, where it's just like added in extra bits that maybe didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Just for what our mind would be used to hearing in the actual volume. But this one, there was a space already. So once I realized that, it didn't bother me nearly as much. But yeah, love this song. High energy, really good song.
It's great. It's also still, again, very dark, similar themes to For Every Life, where it's like the end is near, there's not much we can do now, it's happening. Like if we get past the chorus, it was like, a curse that's never ending, this path with no escape, the sigh of death, we're trapped in slow decay. Those words are not symbolic, the torment's all too real, eternal enemy, our fate is sealed. We slide further down the hole, the damage takes its toll, helpless and broken, fail to stem the tide of pain, the floodgates open. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously this was our Lamar song for the volume.
I think it's interesting when you compare Volume 7, for example, where we had Touch the Sky was like the second song, whereas with Volume 8, it's The Sky is Falling. I thought that was very cool.
That's a very great point, actually. I didn't even realise that.
Yeah.
And also, I wrote that's the song we got remixed for.
Yes.
In this one as well. So that's a great point.
The Touch of the Sky is very upbeat, and this is where they're taking control of things, whereas The Sky is Falling is more dark in the fact they're losing control and they're losing that hope that they had.
Yeah, well, I think that's very much intentional with the volumes as a whole. Like Volume 7 was meant to be the reset, the kind of like, hey,
things are good, we got this.
Yeah, things are good, we got this and stuff, but then Volume 8 is going to be like the down crash again. Thankfully it wasn't, I don't know, I say thankfully it wasn't as dark as Volume 3.
But
we did lose Penny again. So
it was pretty dark. It definitely,
And Cinder was good. Cinder was good again.
Yes.
So, and we did lose we did actually lose a city. We lost 2 cities. Maybe it is dark Volume 3. I take that back.
Yeah, I think it's pretty up there in
and
level.
And heroes did die, as far as everyone's concerned.
Yes.
Yeah. I forget what I said. Never mind. But like I said, we did get the Lamar stuff in this song.
Yes. I was just looking where is that section in the lyrics.
It's very interesting because like lost all my hopes and dreams. Watched my life I've been seeing, and it seems there's no soul on the video screen. I'm green, trying to figure out what all this means. Staring at the casket, hoping to move past it, knowing things will never be the same, and that's it. Cold soaked as I'm standing in rain, feels nothing but pain until I see you again, etc. And goes on and on and on and stuff. And it
feel the waves crash loud and hard. Oh god, lost control. Yeah.
It feels very much to me. And this is my like, oh, RWBY songs are canon. Every single thing says something, which again, is not true at all.
No.
But this to me, when I first heard the Lamar part, I heard that like this is what. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong when I'm saying this. To me this is how Jeff felt this volume.
Oh yeah.
Like, Jeff talking to himself about this soundtrack in his year and stuff, and just how it's like struggling through whatever he's gone through this year. That was my interpretation of it. Just my 2 cents. I hope I'm wrong when I say that. So that's what I immediately get from all this was like, demons live on through my legacy, study my pedigree therapy, bet each breath is closer to my death, except that which life is none left. And like, I'm going to lose it, all my sound is slipping away, oh Lord, please push record or dive at the music. It just feels very...
Yeah.
And again, obviously it's Lamar singing, so who knows, maybe, I don't know. Again,
and I found a lot of when Lamar has this little rap bit, they quite often reference outside Remnant.
They tend to be more like a song looking in from the real world into the RWBY world, whatever. Rather
almost
than
breaking the... Not quite.
Yeah, Lamar's stuff is typically 4/4 breaking, you're right.
Yeah. But I also like just like staring at the casket, hoping to move past it. To me, it's like looking at those who have died and trying to move past it. So it sort of, to me, like it's referencing those who they no longer have, but also probably Volume 9 trying to move past the fact that.
But also,
happened.
works very well with the song playing during Jean and Ren at that time. Obviously, referring to like Pyrrha, for example.
Yep.
Or even Yang moving on from Adam in a sense. Obviously, it affected Blake more killing Adam than, but again, Yang in Volume 7 was very much like, we did what we had to do. We have to move on from this kind of thing. So it also works. If you're grasping at straws here and looking for references.
It also says this little section here, like, as cold soaked as I'm standing in rain, feeling nothing but pain until I see you again. So it's very me to like coming over a loss. Yes.
Yeah, I mean this song is very much like the sky is falling, everything is like bad, doomed, just going nowhere. But after that happens, you have to get up, move on. Even if things are bad, you got to kind of get through it and stuff. Which is the theme in a lot of RWBY stuff, 100%.
Yeah, well, I really loved Sky is Falling. It's so good.
There's also references to like trust love in here, like better cover your eyes, my friend, and open up your eyes and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, look, it was definitely up there. In terms of like new songs we got, so not including Awaken Friend. Yeah, it was definitely like one and two. Was this 100%.
Yes, definitely.
Very much so.
Be Strong and Hit Stuff. This one's probably gonna grow on me, but when I first listened to it, I didn't. I liked it, but it wasn't like my fave of the Nora songs. But I did like certain parts of the lyrics.
Coming from a very big Nora fan.
Yes, yeah. And when I was having the chat to Kaylee and Corey about it as well, they sort of agreed that it's a good song, but it's very a generic Nora song in terms of the music. But the lyrics, I do like quite a few of the lyrics. But yeah, just to me, the dancey sort of music, I still liked it. It's probably going to grow on me though. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own. I really liked it. It probably is my favorite song. Again, trying not to include Awaken Friend in this. Yeah. Because again, if you haven't looked at that song, it's Awake. By 100
I love
miles.
Awake. Awake's so
Awake
good.
Is fantastic.
Amazing.
I've been listening. Awake has been my alarm clock for a year. And I'm still not sick of it yet.
I have it on my Spotify playlist.
There is an acoustic. I don't think it's called an acoustic version, but it's basically an acoustic version on Casey's YouTube channel, which is also fan bloody.
I don't know if I've listened to that. I have to look it up later.
Really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It's similar to Boopin', where it's like it's about Nora, but it's obviously from Nora's perspective. But you can also talk. It can also kind of be from Ren's perspective, talking about Nora.
Yes.
Or kind of to be all the Team RWBYs talking about Nora. So it's very much Nora talking about herself, but also everyone else talking to herself.
Yeah.
But there's a disconnect there. I think that's a very symbolic thing of Nora's character, is that she feels a certain way and everyone else feels a certain way. Yeah. But the two still don't see each other, which also is ironic of Ren and Nora as well.
Yes.
Especially earlier volumes, or RWBY Chibi highlights that immensely. Yeah. But I really liked it. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting from the song we got in the show, but I really liked it. I
like it as well. It's all about don't give up on your dreams. Especially with how the last two songs were. But you will grow in time. Like, you'll find yourself. It's very much like a finding yourself song. It mentions about picture if you can a younger you. Think of how that little soul will feel. If they could see you, there's no doubt their jaws will drop and say, "Oh wow!" I love that little line. It's so cute.
Yeah. Like the line. Like, I think the one line in this song that I think definitely jumps out is like, that's not so much Nora's song. Is the redemption is yours if you take the path, which is obviously was in the original verse that we got in the episode.
Yes.
But at that time that was playing, like, you see Emerald, you see Marrow, you see Winter. So you kind of get like the reference to those three in this song as well, which I like.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's actually quite funny. I think it took me until I listened to this to realize that the line was, just hold on, stay tough, be strong and hit stuff. I don't think I actually heard that for so long. I don't think that's what I actually heard. I don't know what I heard, but it actually wasn't that.
Yeah. I like being in this soundtrack as well. It's one of those songs that is like, stay strong. Everything's going to shit. The world is ending. But if you stay strong and be true to yourself, you'll I really like that sort of message that's in it.
And
as well.
and I really like it too, because obviously most of the time when you get songs like this, it's more along the lines of like, you know, be kind, be better, be that kind of stuff. But this one is like, it's like, no, you be you. And if that's beating the crap out of people, then that's beating the crap out of people. And
Exactly.
It's that's a very 2020s mentality. No, we're not going to be kind. People are assholes. We're going to call them out and kick their asses.
Exactly.
I didn't grow up with that mentality.
No.
So whenever I see people like that, like calling people out, I'm like, can't we just all be kind? And I was like, no, 2020, you have to call people out. And I'm like, sure, but that's not going to help them. It's like, we don't want to help them. They're assholes. Like, yeah, but still. I'm old school even for Twitter these days.
Same.
Oh, it's so fun. Again, we'll preface in saying that we haven't seen too many other reaction videos. We haven't seen breakdowns and stuff, so we're not going to break down the lyrics reference by reference for stuff.
That's why we just mentioned a couple that we find interesting.
So apologies if you're looking for more in-depth stuff. We're not prepared to do the in-depth stuff. We've just been listening to it casually, and we're trying to catch up with each other and stuff and share our opinions. So I know in previous volume reactions we've done, I have notes that go through every single line.
I was going to type up notes, but it didn't happen. But
again, it's very like kind of, we haven't streamed in almost a year. We wanted to stream again, so here we are, kind of thing.
Moving along, I'm just conscious of time. The truth. Now, I was a little sad we didn't get the full song, but we might in Volume 9 soundtrack. We might.
That's the main thing. Like you mentioned before, for Be Strong and Hit stuff, the music itself is a bit lacking, in your opinion.
Yes.
And again, that could be a tribute to Jeff stuff. And if this volume was just kind of like, oh, this soundtrack was like, here, have it. This is what I have. Take it. There. Be happy with it. Going to work on Volume 9. If that's the case, I could be wrong. I think this very much is similar. Like this is what I have. So at least take this kind of thing. And this is obviously what we heard in the volume. But this will be really good if in a future, maybe not next volume, but in a future volume, to then get a full version of this. It'll mean so much more since we got this kind of thing. So I'm okay with this if we get a full version of it later. If we don't, looking back, it will be a bit of like a, damn. But if we do get a full version of this in a future volume or something, I think that'd be really awesome. Especially if I can imagine like this being like one verse, then the next verse being Cinder reflecting on her volume 1 through 9 timeline or whatever, and then the third verse being Cinder redeemed or Cinder dead or whatever happens to Cinder in the end, kind of thing, like different stages of her life. This is like a first bit, then we'll get a second bit, or even then, I would love to see if someone mixed this in with Time to Die. Is that the song?
Yep.
It's the same beat. I don't know music. But it's like the
All Things Will Die.
All Things Will Die. It's like
All Things Will Die.
Like it's the same kind of rhythm. Whatever the word is, you know what I'm talking about. But let's see someone like mix that into this and see if that like flows and works and stuff. Like you hear this, then it goes into All Things Must Die kind of thing. I hope that's somewhere.
But yeah, overall, I really love this little section. I just, and I know a lot of people were disappointed we didn't get the whole song, but yeah, hopefully we will. The next one we have to really probably go a bit of a discussion about is Treasure. So with Treasure, there was a lot of the fandom were a bit up in arms about this. I didn't look too much into it because at the time I saw a lot of discussion about it. I hadn't actually listened to the soundtrack at that point.
I haven't seen that much on this song.
I saw a little bit.
If I'm honest, this is not a particular favorite of mine. I didn't really care for it in the volume. I don't really care for it now. I haven't really looked through the lyrics or anything. Again, if it's a Blake and Yang thing, cool, fine. I like this is one of the songs where normally I'm like shipping. It
doesn't reference really any particular like characters or specifics.
This is a song where it's like, I don't even care enough about it to have an opinion if it's relevant to our characters.
I like the song. I like the song. It made me cry, but that doesn't take much to make me cry.
I think I felt the same way about Home when that first came out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's cool. It's there. But
I think I mentioned that in my reaction too.
In the future, I think I will come to appreciate the song a lot more.
Yes.
It's just that, we got Friend, we got Awake, we got The Sky's Fallen, we got The Truth, and then there's this. And it's like, if you're into that kind of music, that makes sense. But I'm more for upbeat.
Yeah. I like as I mentioned in my reaction, it's all about sort of like unrequited love or family, people who you want to be in your life who aren't in your life for different reasons, and you're not sure if they're going to be returning, or you wish for them to be returning and they won't. That's of what I sort of got from it. A lot of people thinking summer, and yeah, sure. I could kind of see that in that as well. Yeah. So RWBY or Tai or Yang wanting summer to return, and especially with, she's assumed dead, but we don't know definite. Yeah. So it's sort of like waiting for them to return, if they will return, and hoping they will, but they may not, sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like any art. If it's vague enough, it's open to interpretation, and anything can technically be right.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of the main things I remember loving so much about when I did art in high school, was that as long as you could convince the marker of your answer, then any answer is correct.
Yeah.
As long as you can justify what you interpret from this artwork or music or whatever it is, you're never incorrect, because once you put something out publicly, the original intent is only one interpretation of that work. Even the original creator only has the one interpretation, whereas anyone who reads it, watches it, listens to it, etc., can have a completely different interpretation. Technically, because of how art works, that's still technically correct.
Yeah.
I guess the original person can come out and say no, but unless that happens, then technically, unless that happens, it's actually correct. So this could be Blake and Yang, this could be RWBY and Yang, this could be, whoever, it could be Summer, could be...
It could be a lot like with Home. Home wasn't very specific, and it referenced, RWBY was writing to Yang during that section at the end of Volume 4. There was Blake and her family, and there was Weiss and Klein, and then there was Ren and Nora. That was all sort of... It wasn't specific to the character, and that's why this one also is not specific, but it's referencing something that was felt within the volume, like with Home. So like with this is when the teams were reuniting after being separated and catching up with each other and being reunited. But it could reference all sorts of things.
And again, I could also imagine like you were again referencing Volume 4 and Home and stuff. I could also imagine this song fitting in perfectly at the end of Volume 5 when they all reunite again. Yes, that first time, and they've done it again the second time. So it's really just more about the these four people who are from so different, well, two and one, coming from such different backgrounds, but coming together to care for each other in such a way, RWBY and Yang, but then also with Blake and Weiss, kind of having some different backgrounds, but all coming together and kind of relying on each other and caring about each other so much. And that's the kind of stuff that I really hope gets emphasized in Volume 9.
Yes.
That kind of sense of, one, why these people care about each other as much as they do, apart from like obvious reasons and stuff, like why these people care about each other, and then also why they're doing what they're doing. Those are the two things I like from Volume 9. But back to this, I remember I always love particular, I don't know why, but I'm always a sucker for the line in anything of the Sands of Time.
Yes.
Always love when Sands of Time are referenced.
Yeah, Sands of Time.
I know that's a weird Prince of Persia nostalgic person in me or whatever, but I was like always love but that's all right. I'll be just fine. I'm not concerned with the Sands of Time. Which again, like no matter how long we're apart, no matter how much time has passed, that won't change anything. Time,
Yes.
And again, much like ourselves, if I must say, maybe we don't talk for months at a time, but we come back regardless of how much time has passed, and we talk and we catch up, and it's cool. And I have heaps of friends, especially over this past 2 years. Ages. But I wouldn't expect anything different when I catch up to them, other than maybe their lives, they've moved on with their lives and have partners and stuff and are doing their own thing these days. But I don't expect anything between the individuals to be different.
Yeah,
it's just
time. Definitely.
It's just time. So, yeah, I like that. Again, I enjoyed the song. I hope to enjoy the song more going forward.
Yeah.
Much like yourself and Be Strong and Hit stuff. It'll just take time, I think, for this song to set in and really give me meaning as to what it's referencing.
And it could be more meaningful coming Volume 9 as well.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Could definitely be referencing. Because again, they've teased before, like, oh yeah, we know what happens. We know the end game of the show. We know all the stuff. And again, that's why they reference, they reference stuff in, like, Time to Say Goodbye and Die, Volume 2, that has significance and reference to stuff, or Divide and stuff to references, like, up to now still. Kind of thing.
It's a song that can, like Home as well, that it could cover multiple different moments in the show and be relevant. Yeah. The rest that we have is Friend Awake and the remix.
Yes.
We've already sort of discussed Friend a bit from when we did our
I can't remember, but I imagine we would have.
Our finale
obviously,
podcast.
Fucking Penny and
the song, it's funny. I was talking to Kaylee and Corey about it last night. It's upbeat and happy. If you didn't know the context, you think, oh, this is a really cool, upbeat, happy song. But because it played just after we lost Penny, it makes it so heartbreaking.
It has that dark start as well.
Yeah.
Like, you listen to the song to begin with, and you don't expect what comes up. But that's Penny in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That is Penny. She's
Yes.
only look at the great things and stuff. And
the positive
I know there are
things,
some people that are mad about what they did with Penny or what have you and stuff. I'll say this much. I was thinking about it yesterday. If nothing else, Penny made Winter the character everyone wanted her to be. Because everyone overhyped Winter for a long time. It's like, guys, we got an episode with her in Volume 3. Why do people care so much? Apart from obviously being Weiss's sister and that being important to have her in the show. But Penny makes Winter's character.
It's a bit like, in a way, Pyrrha with John sort of thing.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And again, people are mad at that too. People are mad that they used Pyrrha to enhance this, male, white, straight character, whatever people's agenda may be kind of thing. And, it's story, it's fiction, people are people's lives are going to be elements in other people's lives and stuff, it's, but, yeah, again, I love this song, Penny, obviously. I was saying since Volume 7, since we finally got a Penny motif, that this will turn into a song one day, and it finally did.
It did. And this is where Friend's different to Treasure, where it's specific to a character, because there's actual lines from the episode.
There isn't much interpretation here. It's Penny and RWBY.
Penny and RWBY. So it's very much that, which makes it different to the other tracks, which are a bit more ambiguous.
Yeah. And my point was always to this, everything they did at the end there for Penny and stuff with the staff and stuff. We know that RWBY has an afterlife. We know that the world has some form of afterlife.
Yes.
Because of what they did, at the very least, we know that Penny will get that.
Yeah.
Whether she would have gotten it before, because she technically had a soul, I don't know. But there's no reason to assume now that she gets to go and be with Pyrrha in the afterlife or whatever it is. And that, despite the harshness of the confusing nature of bringing Penny back only to kill her off later, I think that thought makes it worthwhile, because now Penny gets that afterlife.
Yes, and she also got a dream.
Show.
She always wanted to be a real girl.
And it was just for the short time. She finally got.
She finally
got to feel what a goddamn hug is.
Yeah, she got to hug her friends and actually feel what it meant to be a actual person, human.
And again, we never had to get Penny back just because we knew we'd get back to Alice. There's no reason that Penny ever had to come back, so the fact that we did is always worked to me.
And it gave meaning, for Winter, but also for RWBY and all of them too. Yeah. And it was so great we got to have her back, even for such a short period.
Again, the only thing that I guess I would have liked to have seen is something between Jean and Penny.
Yeah.
Because of the significance that Pyrrha had with Penny in the end there. Yeah. But that's, again, I always go back and get, Jean's reaction to Penny. He was like, that was unexpected. I'm like, that's all we got from you? That's all we got is, that was unexpected. I don't know. That's like the little thing that's like, oh, come on. Wish we got a little bit more. But again, so be it. I don't mind it.
We already mentioned how much we love Awake.
So good. It's
yes, make sure you check it out, of course. It's by Okay Goodnight.
It's one of those songs where I couldn't even goddamn tell you what the hell the meaning is to it. The lyrics are so, just...
I just love it. It's very cool.
It's just a well-produced song.
It's very different.
What the hell it means?
Yeah.
Apart from the one verse that they thought, that could kind of work for Cinder.
Yes.
Let's why not? Apart from that, I couldn't even tell you what the hell Okay Goodnight was thinking or what the meaning behind the song is.
No.
Out of the context of RWBY, it's completely lost to me, but it's just amazing to listen to and sing, and just great. And again, I love the I'm just trying to find the exact lines here.
For the Cinder part, yes.
Yes.
It was about lovers' lies.
With darkness, my tears collide. Is that right? No, is that right?
No, that's a bit too far.
I'm looking at the wiki page here, and I can't find the verse that's in the volume, unless I'm being really stupid. Silence fuels the. I know silence fuels the deadly cries. Control F.
I'm trying to find it as well.
It's right there. Silence fuels the deadly cries, ripped apart by knives and lovers' lies. Curse my innocence goodbye. Take my hand and take my life. Obviously,
there it is. I found it. Yeah.
The betrayal felt by Rhodes and stuff, and
yeah,
people still can't just. People still talk about Rhodes, and how, different he could have taken. Like getting Cinder out of there or reporting it or whatever, and it's like, well, sure, but again, it has to justify Cinder's actions. It has to make sense of Cinder, and again, Rhodes isn't this perfect guy. And again, I'm sure we discussed it.
It was
when the episode
close,
but
yeah.
I'm sure in his mind he couldn't take Cinder on the road with him. He couldn't take Cinder. Couldn't.
He couldn't have joined the academy.
I just mean
after that.
when he first found her, it's like, this is your home. I know it's crap. Stay here. I'll come back and I'll help you. And then when you're old enough, then we can take you out of here. If I take you out of here now as an 8-year-old, you'll die on the road with me wherever I go.
And she wanted to join the academy, so it's like, I'll train you. So
it's not perfect. I'm sure there is a better solution. But again, if you start nitpicking any show and go, oh, they could have done this done better, well, then the show would be boring. These characters are important because the show needs important characters.
Yes.
It's like, I remember someone I think it was a Q&A, and people was like, why does Jean's aura work the way it does? How come Jean's aura was unlocked? And it's like, and Carrie was like, well, we wouldn't be following these characters if they weren't special in some way.
Yes.
So that's just how his aura worked. Because it's the show and he needs to be special because it wouldn't be a fun story. It wouldn't be a fun story if we weren't following special important characters.
Exactly.
So yeah, overall, I can't remember if we were saying this before the podcast or not. I would probably say this is technically probably the weakest soundtrack, but there are still 4 very, very good songs in here with Every Life, Skies Falling, Awake, and Friend. Especially just because of how. Oh yeah, that was a remix, but it was a remix. We're not going to talk about the remix.
The remix, definitely not my favourite remix. It was very like,
I didn't mind it, but again, I'm not a big club music remix fan in general. But I don't mind the remix. I mixes, but again, whether this was the intentional size and length of the soundtrack or whether this was just circumstantial that this is the soundtrack we got, I do think it will. I don't know, but I don't know. Like, I always like Volume 2 soundtrack a lot, but I can't. But its soundtrack isn't that memorable for the rest of the series. Volume 1's nostalgic, but that's nostalgic. Volume 3 is pretty weak, but it has a lot of really, really, really good songs like Divide.
It does, yeah.
Volume 4 I think is the best still. Off the top of my head, like Morning Follows Night, Weiss's Anthem. Again, I'd probably say is the best. 5 was good. 6, again, I really like 6, but there are just some editing choices in 6 that. And 7, I don't. Again, I might be too.
I quite like the
recent,
too 7, but
there might be some recency biased in my opinion on 7. But 7 was big. 7 gave us. I think 7 was like the biggest one we've gotten. In terms of like, because we got like 9 like full songs or something in that one. Which maybe is why we got such a small one. We got a small one in this one. Because Volume 7 was jam packed. Like, everyone thought Celebrate and the Renora song in that volume was like one song.
Yes.
But then,
it wasn't. It was 2. Yeah. Well, that took Kaylee and I over an hour to record our reaction to the soundtrack, where it took me half an hour with Volume 8. So.
But again, I think there's some really good stuff here, and I'm very happy.
The scores are good too.
Yeah, it's actually funny because there were only 5, 6 songs I needed to buy to complete this album because I already had a friend and a wife. I didn't buy the album. I just bought the 6 songs individually.
No. Well, I haven't had a chance to listen through all of them yet.
It was cheaper that way. And I have the scores. I never listen to the scores.
Yeah. Well, so I love listening to the scores.
I just bought the 6 songs. It's like, yeah, that's fine. That works.
Well,
I actually went back, but to be fair, after that, I went back and bought volumes 1 through 5 because I didn't actually own them.
Oh, yeah.
But I now own all the volumes in full.
Cool.
Well, technically in full. And Volume 8, not technically, but I do. I bought, or I now have legally bought all of the soundtracks. PayPal, and iTunes were not happy registering all those things. It took like 3 days for everything to kind of catch up and be like, okay, this is how much money you spent. I'm still not even certain. I'm still not even certain it's accurate to how much money was spent. But regardless, I haven't got a message from iTunes, so I don't think I've cheated out. I didn't intend to if I did anything. I now have all the complete RWBY soundtrack. So, yes.
But yeah, the scores are really good so far that I listened to.
From what I've heard, they're very unedited. They're very much just like what you heard in the volume. And like everything, like you got
well, they're much longer than like most of them are more than 5 minutes. Some of them even up to 8.
Normally, you just got like cut up little edited bits from each episode, and you got like maybe 1 or 2. You never got like the entire score.
No, it was missing
pieces. But apparently, in this one, it's pretty much just like here's 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That basically covers the score for this episode. Next episode, like it's very much like
it's sort of splitting the episodes in half. Yeah. As well, so there's part 1 and part 2.
That was, again, a point of just, like, not having the time to work through it, or if that was Alex going, oh, well, the rest of the volume's pretty, smaller, let me give you everything
more
this time.
Yeah.
So I don't know which way was which. I'll be curious to get, if Alex has mentioned anything about that or not. I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed parts of this soundtrack. I would love to maybe get some insight into it in future, maybe a Q&A from Casey on Instagram or something.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Information on what was going on here. But I really like the stuff we did get. Again, I do feel that it was a little bit like it didn't add, like hearing the full songs didn't add much more apart from Be Strong and Hit stuff. Like the only song kind of added more context. I feel like most of the time it's just like here's the same lyrics again, just a different way of saying them.
Yeah.
Which again, isn't that uncommon. That happens in RWBY soundtracks a fair bit, but I feel like it was a bit more noticeable. And like you said, some of the music was maybe a bit simpler.
Yeah.
Like I would expect, but I still enjoyed it. I think it's still well worth the money.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful to have gotten it at all, because, we really weren't sure then.
We weren't sure when we were going to get it, and we did, so it's good. But yeah, let me know, you guys, what you thought in the comments as well. And yeah, I don't know when our next Corner of Remnant stream will be, but we'll let you know when it will be. Probably discussing the book Remnant Holiday, really as well as the fairy tales. Yes, it's I think what's so good about it too is that I would recommend this book to someone who has no idea about RWBY, and I don't think you'd be too lost. Okay,
like, I don't think you could do that with After the Fall or Before the Dawn.
They're very RWBY specific. Yeah,
but I think Remnant Holiday is a pretty simple enough story, and does a good enough job of explaining how the world works in the book as it is. Like it explains dust and stuff. I think in semblances pretty well.
Yeah.
Memory, I think it does. I'm pretty sure. I think most of the books go over what that stuff is.
Yeah, they do.
After the Fall did it as well.
Yeah.
For anyone, but like After the Fall, like has flashbacks to him, RWBY and stuff. Whereas this is very much just Roman and Neo and stuff, and you could get all the characters that are in there just from, seeing things helps. I don't think you'd need to.
Yeah.
So I'd highly recommend it for sure.
Yes. Well, with that, we should wrap because we've got a little bit over time. But thank you all for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you very much. Anyone who's watching the Twitch live, Twitch VOD, YouTube VOD, it really appreciates it. Me and Larissa just like to catch up and just talk with each other and stuff. And anyone who wants to join in is just really appreciated. So thank you very much.
Yes, it's been awesome. Yes. Yeah, and we'll wrap up there. Thank you all so much for hanging out. All praise the Great One.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just said my hat's flying. Hey, look at my... Yes, I've got the Blake Nenderoid as well.
Yes.
Case.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. I have the Weiss one as well.
Yeah, I only got the Blake one, which is funny. I don't think you can quite see it here. But I have like a little chessboard here.
Oh, yeah.
It has RWBY's pop-up. It has Blake's Nenderoid. It has Weiss's 3-0. So all I need is something... Like I have one corner left for a Yang. I don't have a Yang yet. I don't know what Yang yet. And... we are, I don't know, I'm fairly certain, from memory, we are getting a Penny pop-up at some point.
Oh, are we?
They teased that at RTX. That's the next one in the series after Yangs.
Oh, nice.
I think Yangs only just came out a few months ago.
Yes, yeah.
The next one we're getting is a Penny pop-up, and I'm so excited to have like a really good Penny figure.
Haven't got my Weiss pop-up, sadly. I need to chase that up.
Yeah, so I need one different figure than those three to get a yang one, so a different yang in each set.
Yeah.
Ah, the great one.
The great one. Oh, her hair's a bit of a mess. There we go. The great one. But yes, I will see you all in the next podcast. Thank you all for watching.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Ta-da.
Bye.